Welcome back to the Commercial Real Estate Show. I'm Michael Bull. Today we're talking about the multifamily market across the country. My guests are Ryan Holmes with Rise Real Estate and Tim Schrager with Perennial Properties. And Ryan, I'd like to ask you about some of the features and amenities that you guys are putting in these new projects now in the student housing. It's not the student housing that we used, was it?
No, it's not. I mean, like we discussed before, I mean, we're really focused on technology. Mm-hmm. We're focused on a lot of open spaces, and the students today are willing to take smaller spaces for the higher end technology and for more common spaces that they can go out and with technology boards and stuff they can draw on, so they can use, and they're collaborating more today than before, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. My daughter's in college, and I asked her if she studies in her dorm, and she's, no, I don't really study in my dorm. I go somewhere and study. And so they do want to be out and about and mingle, right? Even though they're doing something they should be by themselves.
No, I mean that's what we're providing coffee. We're providing coffee bars, even snacks areas in the spaces, so they can go down and nobody wants to be alone. So they go down, they can communicate, and they can learn together.
How big is the security in your developments?
Security ranges on the type of development. Some places there's no issues, and the more urban you get, the more you have to kind of protect, and then you really have to watch how many entrances you have into your building. So if they're not spread out, you're trying to centralize the amount of space in the front doors.
Yeah. And how is technology impacting your business? What do you see, Tim?
Well, I think for
well, no, I'm not talking about technology. I'm talking about features and amenities, but we've talked about technology being one of those, right? So.
Yeah, the buildings are definitely getting more high tech. One of the things that we're seeing is car chargers are becoming more important. It sort of threw us for a loop recently. The number of people driving electric cars is really escalating, and what people were doing to get their cars charged was really crazy with extension cords and actually splicing wires on our security gates to get power. It was really nutty. So of course it's forced us to address the issue and start installing chargers. But some of the other things that we're seeing, people want to get out of their automobiles. We need bike storage, especially in some of the locations where we're building, and in-town locations where people are riding bikes, especially around the Atlanta Beltline in the Atlanta area. And you've got the same sort of situation in Minneapolis with their trails that cities like that have developed. We've had to become a lot more pet friendly than we ever were. So one of the things that drives us nuts is that everybody thinks they're a pet owner or should be a pet owner, when in reality a lot of people shouldn't be pet owners, but try to tell them that.
Right.
I know Ryan mentioned coffee. I did a tour of properties recently, and in one day I went to about 8 different properties, and I believe that every single one of them had one of these big fancy coffee machines in the community room or the leasing office. So those are really popular. Active social spaces is probably the next biggest thing on the list. You've got to provide these social spaces for people, just as you guys were talking about with the students who are looking for somewhere other than their room to study. We're really, we're getting all these guys, all these people coming out of school, and we've got to provide these comforts and these features that they've gotten used to in school. So as the student housing ratchets up the bar, we've got to keep up. And so our social spaces are becoming much more interactive, from the pool scene to the club room. It's a lot different today. We're building our lounges more like a coffee shop, where people are hanging out with their computers and their tablets and sitting around and working in those spaces and studying in those spaces and socializing in those spaces, playing pool, playing shuffleboard. So that's really become a hot feature as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And with technology changing, you mentioned having to kind of go back and revisit a property because of charging cars. What are you having to do with new projects with the technology changing, and kind of the environment seems to be changing pretty quickly? Are you doing anything in these new developments to kind of say, hey, maybe we need this space to be very flexible, or maybe we leave this space because we don't know what we're going to do here in the future?
I mean, a lot of our furniture now is on wheels, so that you can move it around, so the space has changed, so you can use a universal space to similar to a conference center, that you can move in things in and out. So as the amount of people are in the space and those sort of things.
Yeah. Well, I hope my furniture isn't on wheels here at the desk, my desk, so they don't move me out of here one day. It's like, all right, you're gone. We'll just roll you out on your desk. These features are incredible. And and when you talk about pets, are you dealing with pets in the student housing or
Yeah,
no?
so we're building a project in Pittsburgh right now, and we actually have a dog walk, a dog wash, and this is a 14-story building. Then we're having to take a piece of the side of the building and build these spaces in. I mean, it's amazing how many people want to have a pet, and you have to provide that. If not, you have a lot of, quote, rank spaces that you don't want to be in today.
Well, I didn't know that, so I could have had my daughter take both my dogs to school. I could be free of them.
Yeah, you can pay her extra to do that.
No, I am a dog lover, audience, but these are little bitty dogs. These aren't real dogs. You know, these are little bitty dogs that need to be with my daughter. Well, stay tuned. We're going to talk more about the multifamily market. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. Stay with us. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Bull Realty, a great place to do business. Xceligent, information for the professionals. And Commercial Search, properties for sale and lease. To access these companies or for additional videos, podcasts, and articles, visit CREshow.com.